George's wife, I assume.
Fiance.
How long have you guys been, like, together?
2.5 years.
14.
Oh, huh?
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but there seemed to be quite a discrepancy there on time together. For those of you maybe in the back or in the balcony, one of them said 2.5 years, the other said 14. Now, admittedly, I'm not what you would call a math whiz. But those two numbers do seem to be quite far apart. This lady took out her phone to do 14 minus 2.5. She's like, yeah, I know they're not close, but like, how not close are they? Calculator. So you guys have been together somewhere in the neighborhood of 2.5 to 14 years. Was there like a stretch of time where one of you was not aware this was a relationship? What's the reason for the stretch of time that we're covering here?
14 years ago, we were engaged.
You've been engaged for 14 years?
This is the second time I'm engaged.
This is the second time? What the fuck? Hold on a second. 14 years ago, George asked you to marry him. You said yes?
Yes.
Okay.
It didn't work out, but
It did not work out?
yes.
What do you mean?
I'm bad.
Bad time. He said, will you marry me? You said yes. A little while later, he was like, fuck. Like, honestly, I thought it was a different time for both of us. This is gonna be a bad time for this. Look, I swear to God, you contact me, say, 14 years from now, I'm gonna be in a much better spot, I promise you that. You reconnect, and then at some point, he says, he asks, will you marry me? Did he use the word again in the proposal? Like, it could either come in at the beginning or the end. Like, once again, I'd like to know if you'd marry me. And I want to point out, this is a different time of both of our lives. How long have you been married for?
13 years.
Let me ask you this. How many times did he propose? And not only that, over what period of time? Like, did he ask you one time and you said yes, and then he was like, time-wise, it doesn't really add up for me? And then some years later, he came back into your life and was like, hey, remember that question I asked you 14, 15 years ago? I'd love to ask you that again, see where you're at this time, because I'm certainly in a much better space of time. Did that happen at all, or was it just the one time? Just the one time. Fuck, tough night, George. God damn.